This is the summary starting on the bottom of Chaf Gimel on the Dalet, going into Chaf Dalet, and it's a beer on the pasuk that says, "Ki sishmal asos yasher be'enei." Now we speak about that there's two levels of yichud. There is the yichud of Hashem, that He sees Himself as Yesh and we as Ayin, and there's the yichud of Tata, of us, where we see ourselves as Yesh Miyayin. And even within that, there's two forms of bittul. We have the introductory level of bittul, where we see how the angels all bow before Hashem, so we bow as well. And that's that introductory level. But then there's a more profound level that we reach where we can unify the two. And this ties back to the difference between the psukim. One says that the ayin, the singular eye of Hashem, is to those who fear Him. And the other says, einei, the plural eyes of Hashem, are to the tzaddikim. And we explain that the introductory level, what is called the keys to the outer chamber, is that first level of fear of Hashem, which warrants only the one eye. The einei, the plural, is when we bring together both levels, Yichud Ilah and Yichud Tata, the two come together, and this is an opportunity for the tzaddikim, that they have this experience of bringing the two together. We talked about how this is relevant to Yosef, because the term ayin is used in reference to Yosef. We talked about when a person davens, which begins with the praises of Hashem, but again, it's still us sort of remarking on the praises of the angels, which stir up the year within ourselves. So the Gemara says when a person davens, his eye should be below him, trying to bring up that Yehuda Tata, and his heart should be pointed upwards, trying to bring out that Yehuda Ilah. And we're able to bring the two together, like Yaakov Avinu, who promised that if he will return to his father's house, Havaya li le'elakim, the level of Havaya and the level of Elakim will come together as one. And this is what it means to do that which is straight in the eyes. There is the plural of Hashem, and this is the idea of straight, meaning a straight line from top all the way down to the bottom. Then there is a kitzer. We talked about the two levels of the introductory, the key to the outer chamber and the key to the inner chamber. And we talked about that mitzvahs without Torah Torah without mitzvahs will spill. The mitzvahs are the kalim, and they make sure that the Torah penetrates within us. And if not, then the Torah is in one ear, out the other type of thing. And we have to go in this progression. We have to have the yira that leads to the Torah study, the yira that leads to the mitzvah fulfillment, that leads to the Torah study, which leads then to a supreme level of yira. And this helped us understand the odd description that it tells us that when it says the eye of Hashem is to those who fear Him, that it's a reference to Avraham Avinu, who is described as the one who fears Hashem. And yet nobody was more compliant with Hashem's instructions than Avram, and he only warrants the, quote, one eye. How can we imagine that here in this physical world we should warrant two eyes? So now we understand that there is a supreme level, like it says in Pirkei Avos, in Yira Ein Chachma. That's the introductory level of Yira, which leads to Torah study, which leads to Ein Chachma and Yira, to the supreme level of Yira, which is the Yira that Avraham Avinu experienced.